That was my challenge. Could I turn this, essentially our living space, our main family room, into an event space? How could I decorate it to make it a bit more special and really give our guests and ourselves a night to remember? Have you ever wondered about how to celebrate that big birthday? Or maybe it's a special anniversary that you've got coming up, and that's maybe exactly why you're here. You're looking for a bit of inspiration. There's so many decisions to be made, isn't there? Should you throw a big party with all your family and friends? Should you make it a smaller, more intimate affair? Should you go out to a restaurant? Should you hire an event space? Should you just have it at home? These were all the things that I was asking myself when deciding how we should celebrate my husband's big birthday. He turned 60 just last week, and we ultimately decided to host a dinner party here at home. But we wanted to elevate it a little bit, make it a bit more special, and that was my challenge. Could I turn this, essentially our living space, our main family room, into an event space? How could I decorate it to make it a bit more special and really give our guests and ourselves a night to remember? So I'm going to kind of take you through that process, and you'll need to wait until the end to see whether I managed to pull it off and really was able to get close to the vision that I had in my head for it. But I had kind of limited time to do this because at this time of year we'd sort of waited until Christmas and New Year was past before we decided what to do. So I really was on a bit of a time crunch to get this done. So I'll also let you see how you can do this quickly and hopefully provide a bit of a template that you can take forward and just tweak for any kind of celebration that you're having. So whatever it is that you've got coming up and that you're looking for a way to celebrate, I hope I'm about to give you some inspiration on how you might want to do that. So these were some of the images that I pulled from Pinterest as my inspiration. This was the kind of look that I was going for. I loved the idea of using candles. The event was going to be in February, so it was going to be dark outside. And I knew we could get the lighting right in the room that we were going to be using. So I was really drawn to the idea of using lots and lots of candles with the black, just to give it that kind of dramatic effect. So that's kind of what I was going for. Next thing for me to decide was the colour scheme. Going on Pinterest, pulling up a few images, I ultimately decided on black and gold. And there were a few reasons for this. We have a lot of black accents around our home, so I thought that would sit quite well. Black and gold to me is quite a kind of masculine colour scheme, so because it was for my husband's birthday party, I thought that would work really well. I knew that I already had quite a few gold things in my Christmas decor that I could pull out and reuse if I wanted to. And I also realised that if there were any things that I wanted to purchase new, that I would be able to easily reuse them again for another Christmas decor scheme, or maybe for a New Year decor scheme. Or gold is really flexible, and in my head I was thinking, well, maybe if I was doing something for myself, I could do pink and gold in the future. But I think a metallic and a colour work really well together as a colour scheme for this type of event. Next, I wrote a list of everything I thought I would need and jumped online and ordered it. I'm going to list them all in the description box below so that you can take a look yourself, but the main thing is they were all very affordable. What I'm opening here are some little menu holders. I decided to just pop some of these down the table so that everybody could see what they were going to be eating. I just did a little design online using Canva, printed them off and popped them in here. Next, what I'm opening are some gift bags. What I decided was that we were going to be having a cake, didn't want to serve the cake immediately after dinner. I wanted people to be able to take them home in a kind of little party bag, like a little gift bag. So I ordered these black and gold bags so that we could do just that. Some candles, some dinner candles. And then I think these are the place card holders. I just ordered some plain black little cards, a gold pen, and created place cards for everyone. And then some floating candles too. I also wanted to include this just to let you see, when you order these kind of faux florals, they look pretty terrible when they arrive because they're all vacuum packed, but you'll see later on how effective they are, so don't let the packaging put you off. About a week before the event, I decided to have a bit of a trial run. I decided to use the pop-up table because I knew this was the narrowest one I had. I wanted to make sure that my spacing would work. I'd got some underlay, that still needs to be trimmed at this stage, and these black cloths I picked up on Amazon. I also picked this runner-up on Amazon, and you'll see me using these vases that you saw me purchase in a previous video. Now here I am with the floating candles, about to make a crucial mistake that I'm so glad I made on the trial run. I'm about to trim the wick on the candle. Well, I always trim wicks on candles, but it turns out that you shouldn't trim wicks on floating candles. You want that wick to stay really long. This candle just puttered out after a while, but I'm so glad I made the mistake on the trial run. And here I am just making sure that I'm not inadvertently blocking the view for guests sitting across the table from each other. So I've got the faux florals out here and I'm just starting to have a bit of a play around with them. I wasn't quite sure at this stage exactly how I was going to work. I didn't know how much space there would be on the table. I didn't want the florals to end up in people's plates. So it was really important just to give it all a bit of a go. And I really was just trying to get creative. At one point I thought maybe I'll stand them up round the vase, but how am I going to make them stand up? And so I just really had a good play around. In the end, I decided to lay the stems flat end to end. The stems are wired, so you can just bend them into a shape that will allow stems to be poked in there after you've created a framework at the base to support this, and then you can just build up from there. It won't go anywhere. It definitely helped having the tall floating candle vase on one side and the candlestick on the other. I was able just to slip the florals down in between them and it just gave a little bit more stability to the design. I thought I'll just light the candles, see if I can get a bit more of an impression of the overall look and see how close to my vision it was heading. Popped one napkin down just to see how that was going to look and I was pretty happy. It was definitely heading in the right direction, but of course I wasn't going to know until the day of the actual event. At one point I thought about putting these twinkle lights down the centre of the table, but ultimately decided against it because they were just a bit too blinding. Didn't want to blind my guests on the night, so I thought, nope, I think the candlelight is going to be enough. I'm just going to stick with lots of candles. I got rid of any excess packaging, popped everything together in a couple of crates and pulled together my decorating kit for event day. We moved the furniture out of the room and actually put the big armchairs wrapped in heavy duty plastic out on the patio. It was going to be dark, no one was going to see them. I also remembered that I had these spiral lights left over from Christmas. I wrapped them up carefully, but they'd lost a bit of their spiral on the wire. So I got my rolling pin out, wrapped them round the rolling pin and slid them off just to get that coil back again. So we were using our dining room table plus two of these pop-up tables. They're just your standard pop-up table, the Lifetime brand that are available all around the world. And the only trouble is that they're a little bit lower than our main dining room table. So my husband came up with this genius solution. Block of wood across the bottom of the legs of the pop-up tables, cable tied in place just to raise the height up a little bit. It just looked so much better with all the tables being the same height. I had table protectors for my dining table but added some to the pop-up tables too. They didn't need protecting, but it helped make the plastic table and budget cloth combo feel just a bit more luxe. I gave the cloths a bit of an iron, then popped them on the table. It can be tricky to get them even with the same amount hanging down either side, but if you find your centre point on the cloth and then put that in the centre point of your table, it makes things a whole lot easier. Cloths on, it was now time for the fun part. I had a whole set of these charger plates as part of my Christmas table decor, so it was really easy just to order some more. I love the kind of pebbled effect. I think it adds just a bit of texture to the place setting. Yep, that is me measuring to make sure I've got the runner exactly in the centre of the table. It's all in the details. Next, I needed to pull together the candle holders. Don't you just hate it when the candle wobbles about in the holder? I used to use cling film, or saran wrap, you probably know it as if you're in North America, but I found this museum wax works much better. Now I'm ready to build up all the faux florals. I'm just going with the technique I decided on during my trial run. I'm laying the stems down end to end, then just teasing up the wired branches to create a bit of a framework so that I can poke more stems into them and just build them up from there. These great little tea lights from Amazon. I'll link them below in the description box. They came in a box of 12 and they were so budget friendly. Another tip for an event like this is to look out for the longer burn time candles, the dinner candles and the tea lights. When candlelight is such a big part of the ambience you're trying to create, you don't want all the tea lights to run out after only about 3 hours or so. The longer burn ones are obviously a wee bit pricier, but you're getting double the burn time, and so I think they're definitely worth the extra cost. We had agreed with our caterers that we would provide the wine and water glasses on the table. I've got a few extra boxes stashed away for entertaining, while they would provide the cutlery, or the silverware if you will, along with all the dishware. And the best part of all that is that they just take away all the used dishes, leaving just the glasses for me to wash. Gavin's a big motorsport fan, so of course the cake had to reflect that. And here's a first look at how the table has come together. Still no knives, forks, etc. out yet, but this must have been around 4 PM and the caterers hadn't arrived yet, but it's really starting to shape up.
I realise I haven't mentioned yet that we hired chairs. This was a bit of a game changer. Rather than mix and match with my own dining chairs, I decided to rent all matching chairs from a local event hire place. At only £3 per chair, plus delivery and collection fee, I thought this made such an impact visually in the space that it was worth every penny. The gold chairs were ideal, and when I learned I could have black seat pads, I was thrilled. Like I said, it's all in the details. Our caterers set up a fabulous little bar in the corner of the lounge for cocktail hour. The chefs were ready to go, and now all we needed were a few guests.
And so that's it. What do you think? Do you think I managed to come close to my vision? I reckon I got pretty close. I was absolutely thrilled with the way that it came together. My husband was very happy with his night. Guests all loved it, so I count it as a big success. So that's it for this week. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.